Welcome back to the Law Factor Live, of course, where DBS, the #1 station in the nation. So tonight we're talking about special needs, and there are different angles about special needs that we want to touch on, because we have discovered through our research and just everyday life that sometimes many people actually say or do things that are offensive, and they don't realize that, and somehow I just don't understand why. And to tell us a bit more about this and what they have experienced, I have MP Milner on the set with us. So MP, I'm going to kind of just hand it over to you, and let me ask you about yourself so that people know a little bit about you.
About me?
Yeah.
Well, I am St. Lucian. I was born here many years ago. And I have recently gone through chemo. I'm in a good remission. And then I accidentally broke my ankle, very badly broken. And I mean, I never dreamed how hard it would be to be handicapped or physically challenged or whatever you want to call it. I'd never broken a bone in my life. And then having to deal with breaking this ankle and not being able to walk properly and not being able to, you can't do anything. You've lost your independence. As far as I'm concerned, breaking the ankle was worse than all the chemo that I did, because I didn't lose my independence with the chemo. I could still walk to the grocery stores. I could still go to the bathroom on my own. I could still have a shower on my own. But once I broke the ankle, somebody had to help me do all of that stuff. I mean, now I'm into my 4th month, so I'm able to get around better, but I was in the wheelchair and then with the crutches, and it was really, really opening my mind up to what people are going through. And I mean, I'm only temporarily handicapped. There's other people that are permanently handicapped, they're in the wheelchair and they can't get up. I mean, I can be in the wheelchair and I can stand up and sit back down, but some people can't even do that. So what I wanted to do is try and let St. Lucians and people here be aware of what it is to be handicapped or to be physically challenged.
Let's go back to one of your beginning statements when you said that you broke your ankle. How did you break your ankle?
And I am a florist, so I was picking flowers for a bridal bouquet. It had been raining, the grass was wet, slight hail, and my feet went down from underneath me, and just like that, it was broken. I mean, the noise echoed around the garden. I knew it was broken before I even looked at it.
And at that time, did you think, well, I'm going to be in a wheelchair, I'm going to have a cast for so long?
Well, I thought, I mean, I was absolutely shattered that it had happened. I mean, I'm self-employed. I have people working for me. I'm responsible for getting them their pay and everything. And life has to go on. And it was just, I was devastated. I never even dreamed of anything like this. And I figured I had 6 weeks and then I could start to put weight. Well, when the cast came off in 6 weeks, I was then told it was another 6 weeks. And that was awful. I just couldn't handle that. But anyways, I'm determined and I pick up and go. And there was one time I went to the grocery store. I was bound and determined to go. And I was on the crutches and I was trying to get the shopping cart. And I couldn't manage to get the shopping cart up the slight incline, and somebody came and helped me and wheeled it into the store and said, "You're a very determined young woman." And I'm like, yeah, I definitely am. But yeah, it's not something that you expect to happen to yourself. It's not something that you plan on. It's an accident. It just happens.
Did anything else around you change in terms of friendships? Because sometimes people say it's when you're ill, you know who your friends are.
Yeah.
Did you find that happened, even though it's just a small thing? Because of course, you were diagnosed with cancer. Now, thank goodness you're well.
You find out who your true, genuine friends are when something happens to you. The ones that will come and pick you up with your wheelchair and take you out and about because you you can't stay in the house forever. I mean, the first 6 weeks I was pretty stationary. And yeah, it's eye-opening. It really is.
Did you feel sorry for yourself at any time?
To begin with, yes. Why me? And then, you know, oh, I'm being tested. I've got to go through this. But then I really felt sorry for myself when the cast came off, and I was so disappointed that I couldn't start to put weight again. And I just broke down and cried. And because, you know, I'm not somebody to sit at home and do nothing. But then you can't put weight on it. And then people that have broken their ankles, they're like, Impy, you've got to listen to the doctors. You mustn't put weight on it. You've got to take your time. You mustn't force yourself because you'll prolong it. So I have tried to listen and not put the weight. And was very lucky to get a wheelchair. A friend of mine had a wheelchair. So I had my crutches. I had 2 different walkers and I had a wheelchair. So I was very lucky.
Okay, and then after that, I know because we've discussed this many times, you started to experience things which made you feel very angry, but then sometimes very appreciative, and then made you think about how the treatment of other persons who had special needs similar to yours. So when we come back, we're going to be exploring that, and we actually have some things to show, some businesses, so beware. Now, let me just repeat tonight's questions. Where exactly is Charthouse Restaurant and Bar located, and what do they specialize in? Where exactly is Charthouse Restaurant and Bar located, and what do they specialize in? The winner will receive a voucher for $150 to dine at Charthouse. And what is Ladera Resort doing every Sunday in October to celebrate Jeune Creole Month? And what time does it take place? What is Ladera Resort doing every Sunday in October to celebrate Jeune Creole Month? And what time does it take place? The winner will receive a Sunday treat at Ladera in October. When we return, we'll be talking with the Executive Director of the National Council of Persons of Disabilities, Ms. Lancia Isidore. We may do that after the break or shortly after. But as I said to you before, we have some pictures to show you, and we want you to have a good look at them, all right? So stay with us. We'll be right back.